Hello everyone and welcome back to another session of Dark Souls 3 PvP and another weapon showcase. This time we are using the Ringed Knight Spear. Can't talk today apparently. And this is pretty much everyone's favorite DLC spear-like weapon. Even though technically it is a pike, it does have a spear's moveset, the partisan moveset specifically. But more on all of that stuff later. Let's get started with the basics. This weapon requires 15 strength and 17 dexterity in order to wield. It has a C scaling in strength, a D scaling in dexterity, and E scaling in both intelligence and in faith. The physical base damage of the weapon is 220 and its fire base damage is 22. And the skill of the weapon is Ember, which I'm sure most of you guys are quite familiar with. It's what most people have a habit of spamming with this weapon. You jump forward, and then you do a spin, and then you do a thrust, and fire goes along the ground. You got a bunch of different R2s that you can follow it up with, and it does some good stuff. So, getting started with the pros of the weapon. So, this weapon is really good. It's a spear-like weapon. It's a pike weapon, so it's got great range. It has a great moveset because it has the partisan moveset, my favorite spear-type moveset. On top of that, it's of course going to work very well with the Leo Ring, especially on that initial skill where you jump in with your R2. That does a massive amount of damage if you get that as a counter. Other than that, it's got decent damage overall because of its buff, and finally, it's got that great weapon art. I mean, everything about this weapon, as far as its moveset, is kind of just fantastic. It's got good range, good damage, works well with the Leo Ring, great weapon art, great moveset. It's hard to go wrong with it. The only things that I would have to say would be a considerable con to this weapon would be the fact that it doesn't have much in the way of hyper armor, and it can be relatively easily parried. It does have a good amount of variety in the moveset, so you should really try to use the most of it, or use as much of it as you can, make the most of it, is what I was trying to say. But most people don't do that. They just go for either your R1s, or they go for the skill, which is a bit of a shame, but I can see why they would go for the skill, considering the fact that it does have the most hyper armor out of any attacks that this weapon has. So it does make it reasonably spammable, even though it is somewhat easy to dodge. Other than that though, just try and mix up your moves, don't get parried, and you'll have a really good time with this thing. It's like a partisan that self-buffs and has longer range, because that's exactly what it is. I mean, there's not really a whole lot else to say about it other than that. It's a fun weapon to use though. I really do enjoy using this thing quite a bit. I do like the skill a lot, especially due to the fact that when you do get your third attack with it, you can actually have that fiery shockwave go along the ground and hit someone. They don't always expect that attack to come out, especially if you do it from a distance. And if you're not locked on when you're doing it, you can sort of corral them to a certain area if you need them to be moved to a certain area, because people don't want to walk through the fire, understandably. But other than that, I don't really have a whole lot else to say about this weapon. I've said really all that needs to be said. So anyway, as far as the next showcase is concerned, I'm debating between either the Aquamarine Dagger or Demon Scar. I haven't decided which one I'm going to go with just yet. I'm kind of leaning towards the Demon Scar because it actually seems to be the first time that From Software has made a weapon that acts as a casting tool, and it's actually good. So I really kind of want to see what sort of combos I can come up with that. Just because there are a lot of great pyromancies in this game that don't really see the light of day, simply due to slow cast speed, and we might be able to mitigate that by stunning someone with an R1 first. So there's some thoughts I've got going through my head on that one. But either way guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video, found it helpful in one way or another. Please like, subscribe, and all of that good stuff, and I will see you guys next time.